YouTube? Oh, Meezy, we're back with the jobless nigga. You know, he keeps me up to date with the streamer that's going on. The worst rebrand I've ever seen. Now, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, but I'm always here for the Meezy video. Let's see what's going on. Well, I know this is FaZe.
You look at, you know, the FaZe accounts and they're bleeding, they're hemorrhaging, like we're dying. And before you know it, you're millions of dollars in the hole, but everyone's telling you how great it all is. But it's not sustainable and it can't work. And that's 100% my fault.
Oh, it's a new FaZe?
Welcome to the new house, yes!
The truth is, I think that everybody lost. I think that I lost. I think that the boys lost. I think that FaZe, of course, lost. And I think the biggest loser in all of this is you guys.
I didn't lose anything. I definitely didn't lose anything.
We'll never have another partner segment in our lives. No, we gotta figure out.
This picture is a recreated FaZe picture, and I constructed this picture on set. Like, I told them all, like, crowd in and make this picture, and we took a picture.
Baby, I took a little picture like this at my fucking middle school basketball game. I still got it in my phone. This ain't special.
This was my direction, my vision.
Oh, brother.
That
this
ain't special.
Man still doesn't get it. Literally just yesterday at the end of April, FaZe Banks decided that it was time for him to return to the internet and make a statement as to what happened to FaZe and his new venture. He went to a constructed set, a very corporate look, one in which I think the lighting was actually very beneficial, and announced that he is basically becoming the Andrew Tate of the space and saying that he is going to turn into this financial guru, one that is supposed to help young men in their new endeavors. But what I do find interesting is that the ex-FaZe boys, now going by the name of Core, decided to do the most rock and roll thing ever and stomp on FaZe Banks's new emergence to the scene with the introduction of their own channel, their own group content in their new content house. Banks was watching as the new generation recreated FaZe without needing FaZe anymore. He can say that that image that they had is a reconstruction of an image that he had once made, but that's the problem right there. The image lives on because it didn't need the corporate entity behind it. The chemistry survived, the audience survived. It's the company and the corporate interests that ultimately ruined the group that are no longer there. And that's exactly what the space needed. Banks had built the room, but Core had walked out with the culture needed to carry on in the streaming space. If you're new to this and haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It's gonna go a long way for the channel. I will never let our corporate overlords overtake us, and your subscription means that we're a real community and real people. Now, back into the video. For those of you who don't know, this is a very special day for me. It is something that I talked about a minute ago when I was called to center stage to address the FaZe, well, ex-FaZe guys now at this point, about the inner workings of their business. Ultimately, I would be vindicated. I know, I'm tooting my own horn. It's gonna come full circle here in a second. And now, after just a short amount of time, we are seeing the power of friendship really prevail. You see, the problem was that FaZe was never supposed to be a normal company. It was supposed to be something that was the opposite of that. It was punk rock, it was rock and roll, it was hip hop, but for the industry that is now the internet / social media and content creation. These were friends, these were gaming, this was streams, this was content, this was culture live.
For what it's worth, for what I believe, I think that FaZe should always be a group of friends who are performing internet culture live. That's what it's always been, that's what it always should be, and that's clearly what people care about.
I think that FaZe Banks, or whatever he's calling himself nowadays, would know that better than anyone. FaZe became legendary because it was impossible to manufacture. It was not professional in the traditional sense. It was supposed to be authentic. It was supposed to be real. It was never the appeal that there was some sort of corporate entity pulling the puppet strings behind it. No, that was never the case. But the problem was that once FaZe, from the gaming days, reached some sort of success, it started to chase the industry validation and decided to go into the more corporate and more professional space. And this is where it all went left. FaZe didn't...
I'm gonna speed up because I watched like 2 other Meezy videos with him talking about this, and he's kind of reiterating the same thing.
Become legendary because it looked like some company that we're used to. It actually became legendary because it was the total opposite. But the bigger that FaZe got, the more it started acting and operating like a traditional company. And at that point, the machine started to disrupt as opposed to build and help it navigate. You had more money, more structure, more oversight, and more pressure to monetize. And at that point, all of the base and foundation that it built on, this is where stuff started to get compromised.
And I tried to extend that experience to these guys and have these conversations about building.
But damn, he still talking about it then? Hey, this FaZe guy, he just made another video about it. When we moving on? I know I'm still watching, but when we moving on? I'm watching because of Meezy, but
they're kids.
I'm good. Kai, we started season 3, Kai. by the way.
Problem, that's not an issue. That's what you guys want, that's what they want, but it's not necessarily what the company needed or what we wanted, right? So that's where shit starts to get messy.
And see, this is where the problem arises. FaZe became industry, the creators wanted to create, but the company needed some sort of monetization. The only way that they were going to continue any sort of backing when it came to these guys is if they saw some sort of return. And I guess that would be fine if it was explicitly spoken about, but that's where the shystiness of Banks himself came into play. You've now set up this business on the foundation of friendship, vibes, chaos, and live culture, and now they are trying to extract that feeling while not being 100% upfront with everybody that's involved.
Tomorrow, everybody were to leave FaZe, right? Is FaZe bigger because of the guys and what they did? It's absolutely not. Like FaZe didn't really grow or go anywhere from them doing all shit on FaZe. It didn't bring the brand anywhere.
The conundrum is like a chicken and egg type of situation. Does the brand need the creators? Does the creators need the brand? Do I think that the creators made FaZe financially successful? No, I can only take the word from Banks and the CEO of it all. They had to spend a lot of bread, and I do mean a lot of bread, to make these guys look more poppin', look more successful, etc., etc. But from a cultural perspective, we can't not acknowledge how impactful and important these individual creators were into taking FaZe into a new stratosphere. And obviously there didn't seem to be a way for the company to value the cultural impact and the cultural value of the collective creators. And then obviously the creators themselves didn't have any idea or notion or care about the company being profitable or monetizing, which...
Okay, I'm gonna say it again. He's made like 2 to 3 other videos about this that we watch. He's saying basically the same thing. I'm trying to hear the update, the newness, so we're gonna just skip through.
Again, I don't doubt them, and I don't think that matters really because they're creators at the end of the day. But when you're somebody who's sitting there and trying to make that thing go, trying to force in the creators, force in the machine, all these different things like that, something's got to give and something's got to break. And there's one person alone who was forcing these two things together. It's this guy who was at the forefront of having this terrible conversation where he basically misled groups of people, fell for these different narratives online, and tried to keep everything afloat. Banks knew how to keep FaZe alive culturally. Hey, I uplift these young guys, put them in a place and space to succeed. But ultimately, he didn't know how to build that structure with the corporate entity. And ultimately, it became unsustainable and it failed.
And that's 100% my fault. That was my job to figure that out. And I cared more about fucking Twitter and more about the content and more about the brand stuff. But now it's in a fucking worse spot in a lot of ways than it's ever been. So it's like, fuck, man. Like it's crazy ironic and it's insane. But there were 2 halves to this brand and this company. One was very much in front of the camera. We have a whole other side in the back. That's where over the last few months, like I have to just fully take accountability and just accept the fact that that's where I went wrong in this. That's where I fucked up. I wish I could say,
so what's about the new guys?
Like mistake, whatever, but I did know.
Now, let's not get it twisted. Banks is a smart guy. He's claiming that he was ignorant about the not the same as alignment, and narrative is not the same as structure, and more importantly, culture is not the same as ownership.
Okay, we coming up on
the creators and the company not aligned, the brand eventually becomes something that creators have to escape from. This is almost like a situation that they play out on Disney Channel or any kid show tropes where they have 2 divorced parents. Hey, you go tell mom that I need her here, I'll go tell dad that I need him here, and then ultimately they should end up at dinner together and maybe they'll reconcile their differences. But this isn't TV, gang. At some point you're gonna have to have real conversation, and this is where I think that Banks truly showed, to me at least, how he became the new Andrew Tate of the streaming industry. There's been accusations of Tate doing his OF.
What happened to Andrew Tate?
He manages these young ladies and acts as some sort of middleman, etc., etc. I don't want to go into any details about that, not too much. But Banks starts moving like this, less of a creator, more like a figure, a businessman, a quote-unquote mentor, and the accountability guy. He's the guy that's saying that he understands it all, he has everything under control, and he's playing this middleman position, but it all ultimately came collapsing down. And while he's trying to do his own personal rebrand on top of the rubble of that messy collapse, there's still something that was beating and breathing underneath that rubble. And it was the authenticity, it was the friendship, it was the relationships, and it was the content that the FaZe boys or ex-FaZe boys were able to produce. In the middle of FaZe Banks' big reveal and coming to Jesus moment about what
here's the update. Here's the update. That all was recap. Here's the update.
Did wrong, holding himself accountable. Hey, woe is me. There was a tweet that dropped from Feared Buck. There was a core house tour. Nobody knew what it was. It just claimed to be a new streaming group. But what was surprising was when everybody clicked on the video, it was familiar faces. It was the ex-FaZe guys displaying that, hey, we have started something new, fresh, and invigorating with some key components of the old. That chemistry, that natural content, that friendship, that authenticity. And
I thought in a past video, or I heard somewhere, or maybe a tweet or something, they said like, they legally couldn't join another group or create another group for like 2 years or something, or did I make that up?
Audience that has grown to trust these individuals to produce some of the best content possible.
Welcome to the new house, yes! Yay! Let's do it! New house, new crib. You gotta pop it up. I wait on this shit. Oh my god! Full basketball court.
and tennis court.
Like, I'm actually about to get my jumper back.
What do you mean, get it back?
Like, I had a jumper before.
Never had a jumper.
Hold on, Dad.
And I want to say I am genuinely proud of these guys for putting their money where their mouth is and doing this thing on their own. I'm not even saying that it's 100% coming out of their own immediate pockets. I can't say that for certain. But what I can say is they are leading with their friendship and authenticity. I didn't see any labels or
good for them. I mean, I'm not watching. No shade. I said this in previous videos. I don't think FaZe was made for me. The content for me, I don't think I'm the target demographic, and that's okay. Okay, I'm just here for the best, and I'm just watching.
Sponsors first. I saw authentic content creators coming together.
Well, hopefully it works out.
The saddest part about it is, though, back on the FaZe Banks side, he still doesn't get it.
This picture is a recreated FaZe picture, and I constructed this picture on set. Like, I told them all, like, crowd in and make this picture, and we took a picture. This was my direction, my vision. These guys look happy, man, to be honest with you. Like, it was a fucking good run, and again, I'm seeing this in real time, and I wish them nothing but the best.
How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? You can manufacture a picture, you can manufacture a house, a branding, a logo, a rollout, but you can't manufacture the chemistry. You can manufacture some company. Hell, anybody can go to LLC.com and create a new LLC. But the reason why Core will be successful is the same reason why these ex-FaZe members were successful when they were ex-FaZe members. Hell, it's the reason why they were successful before FaZe. There's a level of authenticity and realness to the content that they're making that, I'm sorry, you can't just pull puppet strings from behind a closed door and make. Now, I'm not a psychoanalyzer, but it did sound interesting how Banks kind of brushed through this really fast and threw a little bit of shade on the picture that was recreated as the YouTube profile picture for these guys. But I want you to know, Banks, that's not your competition anymore. Core is dangerous to FaZe for other reasons. It's because it doesn't look like a replacement. It feels like that old spirit of what you captured originally escaping from that rubble, from those ashes of the building that you burnt down ultimately.
For what it's worth, for what I believe, I think that FaZe should always be a group of friends who are performing internet culture live. That's what it's always been. That's what it always should be. And that's clearly what people care about.
When the fallout happened a couple months ago, the question was supposed to be, can the guys survive without FaZe? But after this Core announcement, the question quickly became, can FaZe still feel alive without them? I think that that's where the real damage lies with what FaZe became. Can FaZe still company? Now, during his new market show, Banks did hint at the fact that there may
this is mostly about Banks.
FaZe, not in the sense of like an esports way, but in the sense of a content creator group way.
So everybody's clear, like, I would like there to be a new FaZe member. That's my plans and what I hope to do with FaZe. While everyone's telling me I'm a data and telling me that I can't do it and telling me that it won't work and that FaZe is dead and that it's over and to hang it up, I
thought we was gonna hear about the guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, and they put out this video and they said this. This is about Banks and his podcast.
Against me, bro. First person to let you guys know I am going to do it again. We are going to be successful.
But until Banks can realize that it's not about the brand, it's not about the company, it's not about this machine or whatever the case may be, it's more so about the individuals that make up the content creation group, then I don't think that any future endeavors that he will prop up in the next couple years or whatever time span will be successful. Sure, they'll get views. Sure, they'll see accolades and stuff like that because that's what companies can afford you. That's what money can buy you. But at the end of the day, if you don't do the right things to channel that soul of a company, it's gonna leave and it's gonna make another group like Core did. You see, FaZe didn't lose because the creators left. FaZe lost because the creators proved that they were the company all along. They were the X factor all along. They were bigger than the machine, which is kind of crazy to think about, but it's the truth at the same time. And I don't know if this soul is gonna be recaptured because the leader of the ship is now some new look guy claiming to be an outright business guy, finance guy, attention economy type guy. The world is cooked. Listen to me, you're get left behind guy. Similar to one bald guy with glasses that calls himself the top G. Banks goes all in on the financial aspects of this new journey of his life. And to be quite honest with you, this has got to be the worst rebrand that I've ever seen in my life.
A show about investing in yourself, where we feel an overwhelming majority of young men today are in a losing position. I'm here with my co-host right now, we're streaming from his Twitter as well, and he's gonna make sure that we make a fuck ton of money.
I just think that his first stream back, he should have came and kind of just tried to speak on like new beginnings and stuff. It was good how he did that. The intro was great, but I just think that like the way it was launched, people now have this misconception that like because of the last shit that happened that made them fall out. That's the problem. I think could have waited.
And this is why I say Banks.
When are we gonna talk about this uprising of the last 5 years of this like guy alpha content? Don't get left behind, bitches suck, get money. When are we gonna talk about it? Like, come on, like, are we all gonna keep pretending or no?
just still
I
doesn't
guess.
get it. Instead of taking this time to stream and take accountability for
I
all your
guess.
actions or inactions when it comes to the downfall of FaZe, he decided to use that as bait or as promo.
The thing about that type of content, it's going to crash within the next 4 years. Let me tell you why, okay? The kids that it's targeted at, the losers, they're already living in it, right? The kids that it's like really like generating it and like clip, repost, they're going to grow up. And then they're going to realize, hey, you know, I'm still not FaZe bank rich. Hey, I really am still bitchless. Hey, I really still am, like that didn't help me at all. And they're going to just move on from that content. And they're going to just leave it behind. And they're going to be like, them niggas don't know what they talking about. And they're only talking because they're already rich. Or trying to get rich off of our views.
To his new show. And as a content creator, I 100% understand clickbait, rage bait, any type of bait to get audiences to watch your stuff. If you have big drama in order to get people to your platform and stuff like that, go ahead and bait it. Why I do think it's nasty and why I do think it's weird is because these are some of the issues and claims that people had about you. You talked about how you destroy FaZe and it was because there was the soul and the energy and FaZe should have been about friends and not business and all these other things. And then you turn around and sell us a business opportunity almost immediately, right after you were holding yourself quote unquote accountable. It also makes it worse because I'm old enough to remember when FaZe Banks scammed a bunch of people out of crypto using Aiden Ross's streams. And so now when you take on this full-on Tate approach without going full top G, I might add, it just comes off as extremely disingenuous. So when you come to the internet with this like super duper nihilistic approach about the world, oh, it's woe is me, everything is cooked, I hate it here.
And everything's fucking cooked. Politics is cooked. Crypto's dead. Fucking dating's fried. You need 3 things: money, dirt, attention, and 3, the third thing is AI literacy. ChatGPT does your job better than you are fucked, my brother.
You make me want to cut you off. Not because that you're not right. You may be right. Politics is crazy. The economy is crazy. All these things are crazy. But do you think I'm taking advice from somebody like you? This timing feels calculated. It feels like you're once again using these young men and the opportunities that they've afforded the brand and the company FaZe and you to elevate and platform yourself and monetize yourself in a different way. You came back using the FaZe pain that the audience that you even said is feeling right now, and then you positioned yourself as the guy who can see the future, who knows all, and who
people are still dating. Dating isn't good, bro. Y'all just have like some people just had bad dating experiences. And that's it. Oh my God. Not everybody is for everybody. Y'all have a bad experience and dating's cooked. All these bitches want his money. All these niggas. Oh my God. Just go to a different crowd. Damn. Then y'all use the worst examples. Y'all don't even use real life examples that fit in y'all category. It be that fucking TikTok prank star that we just watched, the guy who came out the room. Niggas like that, like dating's cooked. Look at this OnlyFans model. All she asked for is money. I'll be damned if a bitch asks me. That is not your scenario. Get offline.
really has all of the answers. This is why you look like Andrew Tate, at least to me in my eyes. It's not
Get
the same
offline.
politics as him. I don't want to put that on your jacket unless we know more. But it's the same type of tactics, the money advice, the attention advice, the fear-mongering messaging that you are trying to get across. This masculinity-coded energy, this guru nonsense that you're putting it off. And you're trying to spin it as some sort of authenticity. All the while, we remember that you had your friends on Aiden's platform shilling coins to an unsuspecting audience just to do a rug pull. The reason why this whole situation to me is so interesting is the juxtaposition. FaZe Banks coming back to the internet, apologizing for what he did, but at the same time pitching himself as this guru and leading with the corporate entity nonsense, proving to a bunch of people that he really never learned his lesson. All the while, the people that he led astray and misled are propping up a new group, one that seems to be built on authenticity, you know, friendship, and all the core values that FaZe Banks, in the same stream in which he is trying to pitch a bunch of nonsense and self-help male bullshit, said that you need it in order to be successful. It's funny because he's in one stream claiming that, hey, you don't need the company, you don't need the investor dollars, you don't need all of that to make some sort of streaming group, saying that he's going to make some sort of streaming group. The boys on the other end making that same streaming group with the same thing in mind, but back on his stream, he is showing that he is nothing but company. He is nothing but corporation. And he is ultimately, I don't think at least, going to be successful in this endeavor. Sure, I think that he'll make a lot of money. he's already somebody who has money, so he has access to a bunch of different things. But there's not going to be a capturing or recapturing of the soul in the spirit that is group content that he was once seeking at a point in time, and it claims to be seeking at this point in time. I think that ship is totally sailed for FaZe Banks because he decided that he was going to lead with corporate first as opposed to any level of big brands and these big companies. How much they pitch to you that they're your friend, no matter how much they pitch to you that they are trying to work with you in your best interest, at the end of the day, the dollars have to make sense. And if the cents aren't making sense and the cents don't make dollars, they are going to turn their back on you for their best interest.
That
it's
is
as simple as
facts.
that. Shout out to the core boys. I hope it to be nothing but a raving success. This is exactly what was being talked about a couple years ago, and I'm glad it's being seen now.
Okay, I thought we were gonna get more of an update of the new group, but hey, you know, fine, we got it. You know, W Insight on Meezy, it's true, but damn, another one every day. Man versus woman, woman versus man, dating, bitches, money. Are y'all sitting down really watching those? You know, I know they get views and obviously they're trending. But y'all really sit down and watch that? Like, no, tell me the truth. No. Y'all really sit down and watch it? I have never seen any of those videos. Like, I have never spent my time watching any of those videos. Maybe if I was like 13, I might have clicked on it. Maybe one out of curiosity. But I just really don't see how people of older age is doing that. But you know what? W Inside on Meezy. Hopefully the core boys, you know, do good, successful, all that good stuff. I thought it was going to be more about them. I really don't care to hear about Banks no more. So that would probably be the last video I'll watch about that. But you know, that video.